No, it's not. Evan, if you come in, let me know you're here. Thank you for letting me know that the freeze or the live did freeze. I appreciate that. Where's that torpedo heater? Should be around here somewhere. Full to empty. I don't know. We'll see about this. I believe these are the Gorilla. I don't know if it was, I don't know if you can just order parts, but we ordered a whole new kit for the Gorilla. Ooh, ooh, I think it's in this. It's kind of heavy. But it's those springs that help you with your trailer. If you got ramps, did you ever decide to pick something out there, Rusty, on your trailer, your scissor lift? Or how's the scissor lift coming along? Is the batteries good on it? Have you used it yet? That puppy is full and leaking. I don't know what to put it on if it's leaking. If I had some cardboard. Cardboard. Got this place so cleaned up, we ain't got no extras. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, yeah, she's got a ring there. Put on some wood. Put on some wood. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, I could put it on this. Maybe this will keep the ring of fire from off the concrete. Kind of looks like it wants to fit. Kind of, but kind of not. So far, the Jesus racks have been working good. Everybody's liking them so far. Oh, where we are. How we doing? 4 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate it. I know, dang phones. I know. I think it's the Wi-Fi. Yeah, stream hard tonight. Yeah, you're right. It is, man. It's never. They want me to upgrade. They want me to upgrade to fiber. That's probably it. They bogged me down enough. Yeah, he'll cave. He'll get the fiber. Bring the old kerosene cans, like those old can. Isn't it so cute? My uncle gave me this one. Still in use. Pretty cool. Yeah. Evan's right. You'll have no data and you'll be happy. That's right. No doubt about that. Oh, no. This thing didn't leak out, did it? I don't think so. I don't think I filled these. I think I used them today, so they weren't full. I was thinking, oh my gosh. They were full. They just leaked out. Guess that's why I normally don't put stuff in, don't hold them in this. I like these because they got wider tops, which is really nice. So, because I'm pretty sure we should go check for unload them. I'm pretty sure there's a van out there. Caleb didn't get to clean one this week, so we'll go see how dirty it is. This one don't look too bad. This one's still looking okay for the week. Wow, I can't realize those out. Oh yeah, this one looks pretty grungy. Ish. Ew. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, is that salt? Guess it could be. We did have a. Tires are still holding up good. Oh yeah, that's dirty. That rusty. That dirty. Oh. All right. Check this out. Let's see. Oh, so glad we got you when we did. But still, we got to replace you. Oh. Oh. You'll have nothing to be happy. Uh, okay, this is my trailer. Brother wants to try to find one fit side by side on it also. Uh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, I understand it's dual purpose, then, but I guess in my brain, right off the top of my head, then I go, oh, you might as well just get one like PT. I guess how wide is the side by side? Because if you knew how wide your side by side was, I could measure this one, but I can't find this one. I looked real hard. I just looked real skimmy skim, but maybe this trailer's wide enough. The thing I worry about PTs, I'm not picking any PT. We love PT. I just I look at everything on a ramp when we get rain, or if you leave it out by a tree, or just with weather in general, it gets slimy. And you can't climb the darn thing. That's the only problem I see. I'd rather chew up our tires, which I don't think we chewed our tires up too bad, with a little more traction, because I've been there and there's nothing worse than when they can't get a scissor lift to climb and you can't go home. It's the worst feeling in the world. We're getting closer, guys. We're getting lower. The old box stores worked out pretty darn good. I ain't gonna lie. $88, no holla. I'll set these over here for right now because they got to get put into inventory. But they've been burning them up. Heck, I installed one. Can you believe it? I actually did a residential one. I wasn't impressed though. So this is what I thought. What I didn't like about it was they put an 8-foot extension on it on the Chamberlain belt drive. Right here, right? Chamberlain belt. Does that say belt? Is that belt? Yeah, it does say belt. 8 foot, right? The damn belt flipped up on the rail. I'm like, what the heck? So that was a little concerning. So, well, here's my other thing. You guys know I love my screwdrivers, right? But I have one in the field. Here's something to think about with the screwdrivers too. The screwdrivers have a little bit of a pitfall. I found one pitfall. Well, there's maybe two. One, the red light of death. They're all prone to circuit board problems, right? Number two, that I never bring up, is the grease, because that screwdriver spins so fast. Flinging a little bit of grease on a nice white door. Think about that one. Put that in your sippy cup and sip it. So, if you got a really high end customer, or maybe it's just a nice white door, and everything's really spicky span clean. You know what? You might not want to do a screw drive. So I think either go chain or go belt. Belt would be cleaner. A Northern Tool has those springs. These were Amazon. I don't think they were. I don't know what Northern Tool charges. These are those yellow Gorilla. I was gonna open them up, but I don't think I'm gonna because they're not put together. It's basically just an extension spring in there. The only reason was the wheels. The wheels on the back weren't rolling. I probably should have just fixed it like a farmer would have. But we bought a whole new kit. I think it was just kind of laziness, honestly. Because it was like, well, just rather have it. Because you know how it is, like when you're here working, it's like it's better to have the stuff because the guys are here, right? Now I got the stuff, but the guys aren't here. So what are you going to do? Oh, you haven't even tried it? Maybe those batteries are only a couple years old. I don't know. Maybe they got dates on them. I always try to put dates. They had a selection of sprockets. I don't think we really need that many anymore. Dual? No, that's not dual pulley. It's like almost feels like a little yard sale. You still install linear? Only thing really linear, well, now it's called nice because it's been bought out again, is gate operators. We just don't really have a good vendor. Andy was saying he's had some pretty good luck with, he must already took them. Those keypads. But Andy, and I trust Andy. I think Andy's a good person, a lot of knowledge. If we probably had a good vendor for linear, I would consider them. But I would also consider Guardian too. It's just it comes down to a vendor. You know what I mean? Box store, totally available. Now these ones are a little different. A couple of them are, but if I have a problem, take it back, swap it out, bam. We don't have no buildup of residential openers sitting here anymore, which is nice because we had a skid partially full that sat in the corner before with openers that were like, like they swapped them out. It's like, what's wrong with this one? What's wrong with this one? And all you're doing is looking at them going, there's $200. There's $200. There's $200. So, and then if you go with like Genie, right? Genie, we can get those from WD, Wayne Dalton. So that's nice and easy. You know what I mean? Which we're going to probably get some more. I keep thinking, I don't know what the 2028 has on it. I think it's a stud. Yeah, it's a stud. So it's nice with a Genie, which just might be something for like Evan. Whoa, moth. Excuse me. Is I've struggled with this for a long time, right? And that's what was always kind of turned me on to linear because when you're small, right? I consider us still small. You know what I mean? But when you're small, I don't know what it is. It's like $20 too. It's $20 difference or something. I gotta get my sippy cup. But it's like $20, right? 20, $40 between a chain and a belt. And I've just had some customers that are just you get sometimes you get those old boys, and I mean they're just stuck on it, right? They're just stuck on like, nah, I don't want no belt drive. Those things, I think they slip. It could jump. It stretches. It could break. Right? They're just, and it's like, you know what? Hey, buddy, I'm not here to convince you. I just want to install, make my little bit of profit, and I want to go on my day. So I always like the Lanier because the fact you could use one head, which what I'm getting at is you can do it with Genie, right? Now, if you're good, which I'm not really good, I have to feel inside the tracks. So realistically, right, we got the 2028s, which are sitting right there. I don't think Genie does a good job labeling. I always thought LiftMaster, like if you look at this, like bam, I always knew 7 was a 7 foot. Even says on the darn thing, bam, 8 foot, right? Oh, there's an 8 foot belt. I think they've done a great job. This is Genie. What is this? What are you? What am I looking for? Okay, this is something part number blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, another part number blah blah blah. It's black, which I know it means something, but I can't even tell you right now unless I do the break the plat. I can feel a belt. Okay, so red's belt. Is black longer? Black might be longer. Okay, I matched them up. Okay, it's longer. Yep, it's longer. All right. All right. What is it? All right. I don't feel no cavity. Let me get my finger in there. Oh, it's chain. Okay, so black's a chain, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it kind of makes a nightmare to pick out stuff. Um, so we have 7. So is everything we got here is belt? Because I swear blue. I thought blue was chain, but black is chain. Black is chain, right? So these look about right. So do we got any 7 chain? We do. We do about there. So I was about to say, okay, and maybe blue. I know this one's a screw drive. That's like a 12 footer, so it's a 2 piece. So, but I'm just saying, LiftMaster was always really nice. But the crappy part about LiftMaster is I can't make it universal. I have to have openers that are, you know, independent. So, like right now, we got this 10 foot. This is a 10 foot what chain? Chain. Okay, so now we need a 3/4 horse, in my opinion, operator for this. So you just can't drop it on, is what I'm saying. So like this one's beat up. It's a chain. I don't know. It's just hard to keep inventory sometimes. Or you look at those little rascals, which are kind of crummy, but it's all packaged. Bam, it's all there, baby. Got options, which I did try to. I was gonna do T-rail just to try it out, but I didn't have the plastic clips, which I don't know where I can get the plastic clips. Maybe I can get them online. I mean, we could get them right through LiftMaster, but it's not like they're going to give us any special pricing because we're special. Can you hear the frogs? I can't hear the frogs. Got the earpieces on. I don't even think I've even taken out a screw drive. We got one here. The guys grabbed. Here's an older. They saved it for me. Here's an old screwdriver. He said it was loud as hell. Look at that bad boy. Still worked. It has a date on it. But you think about it, right? Look how greasy everything is. Everybody's puts a lot of grease on them, trying to quiet them or whatever. But you could definitely understand why this thing would probably fling grease out of that trolley area. And I mean, you get too much in there, she's spitting away, fling, fling, fling on your door. Got a little clutch assembly back there. I think he stashed a couple. Should we go look? I think somebody stashed a couple on the other side of the dumpster. One's a good one. I don't know if he took them. I don't know. Let's go look. Or just kept them just for like that savoring last. Like, I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know if I could throw these glorious old machines away. It's like throwing old classic cars away. Let's check. Do I have a WhatsApp? No, I don't have a WhatsApp. Never had any use for it. Midget. Midget. Oh, man. 20 years. 20 flipping years. Let's see what we got here. This morning had a couple. Oh, he does. Look, he's got this thing. I don't know why I kept this turd. It's a genie belt. But look at this girl. Oh my gosh. Might even have to take this inside. It looks so clean. 2001. Even says who did it. Adam, I think is, oops. Sorry. I think Adam's the owner. Yeah, this puppy's clean. Real clean. Look at that rail. All right. I think we need to take that inside. It deserves a better home. Real pulley. Solid rail. A real motor and a belt. What took it out? I wonder. Still even got the limits on it. Damn, it looks clean. Hell, he's even got the cover. Wow. Wow. I didn't realize how nice this thing was. That puppy's nice. I wonder why he's got this thing out here. Maybe it still works or something. Oh, baby. That's a beauty. That one's a beauty. Ah. Grease works great on surgery. It's just a little dab. Super quiet. You might have sent it to me before, Rich. Maybe I'll have to get another picture or something of it. Because I heard white, do like white lithium grease. But obviously, you don't want to put a lot. I don't know if we're supposed to get colder weather. I'm running the air tank to blow out this hose. I'm not real sure yet. Evan, what do you think your next purchase would be? Can be small too. Power tools. Feel like you're struggling with something. Like, what do you need? What could you use more of? More gasoline? Could all use more gasoline. It's gonna be like Mad Max pretty soon. Set you up here for a second. Get this puppy loaded. I was thinking about it today while I was messing with the kerosene here, and I kept thinking, damn, I thought maybe kerosene's probably cheaper than diesel right now. Probably pretty close. I don't think they obviously recommend that you run diesel or kerosene in a diesel, but it's got the same flash point, right? It's missing probably certain things. What's a ring? A ring? Rich, what's it been like? What do you I know normally the common trend is, I just didn't know if you've seen, oh my gosh. Have you noticed anything in your particular area? Does it seem like it's still kind of, would you consider it slow? What's your what's your thoughts? What do you guys think? What do you think about what's going on there? Economy. I don't know if Tanner ever made it back. Tanner make it back? He was on the first live, I think. But my prediction is I wouldn't make any, you know, stay small, keep it all right now. And no risky moves. This is not the time to make the risky moves, in my opinion. But everybody's situation is different. I would hold on to your money, even maybe with Rusty. I don't know. Like I said, maybe a trailer. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say though. If you got a scissor or a scissor lift, I mean, I'm like the opposite, right? I got a scissor lift. Well, I'd rent a scissor lift and make sure I had, used to have a scissor lift. We rented one, and then I had to make sure I had a trailer to transport it around. So it's like in my mind, yeah, you gotta have a trailer, but you could always buy a crappy trailer too, or one that's pretty old. That's what I did. I paid like $1,200 or something like that for my first. I did a tip trailer. I don't think I'd recommend it though, because yeah, probably just buy a new one because it's just yeah, it was a pain being a tip trailer with the winch. The winch was the biggest pain in my butt I ever had. You had connectors and stuff, and those winches aren't built really good at all. Getting a few service calls. Oh, we got 8 likes too. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. Buying power next year, yeah, but if it's you know, it, you know, I don't know. It's hard because if you got to keep, Rusty, you don't got employees. You know what I mean? So you're always looking at you got employees. You got to keep product coming in. Um, I mean, you are right, but maybe you need that capital or that money to be doing a radio ad, doing bandit signs. Um, you know, maybe it's for like good luck. I'm a weird person, right, when it comes to I was thinking because of cold weather. I was thinking about buying a few more work shirts, right? And I thought, well, I like that when you do it, and then you never get no cold weather. And it's like, yes, I beat the universe. You know what I mean? Like, ha 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 ha. You guys can all thank me because I bought the sweaters and nobody can use them. Then they're gonna sit in your closet all year and do nothing. But no, we don't have any cold weather. So sometimes I think about like that, where it was like I was on the fence when it was like, what do you do? What do you do? You buy a new service vehicle? Do you do this? And it was like, and then all it took was, bam, the GOV that's in control, because you guys aren't in control, because we don't control the energy, because we don't have the Teslas, we don't have the Henry Fords, including myself, that make our own power plants on our own property or make our own steam engines. Wouldn't it be so cool? Wouldn't it be so cool to have a steam engine service vehicle? I think so. I think so. You know what I mean? Be more independent. Right now, you imagine you had a fleet of steam engines out there, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, gas prices!" You're like, just gonna go out there with an axe and cut down another tree. We'll be all right. But I know you got, like I said, I mean, besides the head honchos, you know what I mean? Bring in like 3 or 6 guys. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's better to have the money on the cash reserves is the way I look at it. You know what I mean? And it's nice, right? Because what? Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. Everything's cheap. Everything's cheap right now, except for energy. Energy is not cheap. So who knows? See how it goes. Like I said, see if old Mr. T declares victory soon, or if our fertilizer prices and our energy prices. I don't know about you, Bob bringing me a lunch. I went the other day. I was telling the Wafetron. I said I went to Mickey D's, got me a little breakfast. It's like $11. I don't mind $11. I went for lunch, a couple fish sandwiches. It was like 18. It was like $20 basically. I was like, nah. It's like once you start hitting me for $20 for myself, that's not even with somebody. That's not even with fries. I didn't get fries. That's what pissed me off. If I would have got fries, it'd been okay. But I didn't get fries. Now I got two sandwiches, a drink, and they got me for like damn near 18 some change or whatever, $20. I said, nah. I said, I just make myself. I just make myself, and then I got it. I don't have to go anywhere. It's nice. I got what I want. I don't have to wait in line. Oh, yes. Gotta work to make money. Yes, we do. Make the mucho. Yeah, employees make things just way different. Way different. That's why, you know, which I understand. And that's why I'm always also kind of preaching to people too, to some degree, that, you know, in this industry, a lot of guys are chucking a truck. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody trying to undercut you. We typically don't turn into the Walmarts. We don't turn into the Aldi's. We don't turn into Save a Lot or whatever, these big places, because, you know, you just have so much competition. Um, and it's a juggle. It's a juggle. I've been there. Luckily, Cap does most of it, but now it's fun. It's fun. I love it because I love how he's like, you know, he just experienced it last week. He had a big job to look at down Benton Harbor. I think it was Benton Harbor, Michigan, and he'd go down there. Of course, he's gone. Of course, a big account, one that's getting another 7 million from you taxpayers. Thanks, you taxpayers. Thank you. That's why we love this customer, because they're going to get another 7 million. So we're going to get probably another. I don't know. Right now, sometimes we get about either $50,000 to $100,000 worth of jobs out of them. You know what I mean? So they're probably going to do another edition. So make sure you keep paying those taxes. But they're getting another $7 million grant. But they make some. I think they deal with some airplane engines and stuff. So, but of course, that was a big. He's normally the guy that's the head honcho over there, but he was gone. He was down looking at a gate job, and of course, they had somebody threaten that they were going to do some bad things there. So security was way up. So gate timers had to be turned down, turnstiles had to be turned down. But he was like, but luckily he did the work. And like I've told him before, I said, you have to train. You have to always imagine you're not here. And that's one thing I always preach to you guys. That's why I'm always telling you, take pictures, imagine that you're going to get sick or you're going to die next week. And somebody else has got to do the job. So maybe that's why I want to get some software. You want to get some job, or you want to have people know where your notes are at. Or you maybe you got a family emergency. So anyways, technician did a good job, took care of the customer, got stuff reset. Kudos to them. Good job. So that was nice. But I told him, I said, it never fails, dude. I said, every time, you think, oh, there's not much going or something, this, and boom, boom. That's how it goes. I was going to try those hubcaps. Do jobblers ourselves still the same amount of jobs? Yeah, you can. I mean, you guys probably make up two people. You got to imagine. If you bring somebody in, they're only like 50% of what you're going to do. You know what I mean? You can do it. Like I said, though, it's all a balancing act. That's why it's just like with new vehicles, and that's why, like, I always tell people, I'm just telling you from what I see from being, I don't know what I am, 42. I think I'm 42, maybe going on 43 of years of experience. And Like I said, my demographic is way different than most. Maybe not more different. It's probably about three quarters of what the normal demographic is. But it's not, like I said, that's why all I can do is tell the guys out there so they don't feel alone, right? The guys that do watch the channel, um, the ones that the ones that basically never comment. They watch the videos, but they're sitting behind the scenes making those moves or starting their little business. Or like I had a guy email me the other day, and he wanted the price, or not price list, but the checklist, which is no problem. You know what I mean? He was I think he's 2 years into it or something like that. Um, but I always try to tell people, because that illusion, there's an illusion out there, right? I was part of the illusion. I still have sometimes illusions that it's, maybe you got to get this, you got to get that. And if I don't get this, and um, it's easy when you're young. You know what I mean? You can make kind of bad choices. You know what I mean? You think, because if you're um, how do I say it? You think if you get the shirt, everything's made. You know what I mean? I got the shirt, it's got my name, so now I'm professional. No, that's not how it works. There's a lot of things behind the scenes. There's negotiations. There's vendors. There's pricing. You don't know where the customer stands. Like, I was thinking about something today. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about you guys. I was like, you never know, because I was thinking about when I hire contractors, and I was thinking about, oh, this is what it was. I don't. I got to put this out, otherwise I'll forget it. But I was thinking about it. I thought, when I hire contractors, and I normally sometimes I want low bid. You know what I mean? Just, that's numbers, man. It's this property's only producing so much. I want this. And I thought, maybe that's what happens sometimes with us in the industry, right? But anyways, so you get low bid, right? And it's like, well, you get low bid, but they might not this, that. And it's like, you're right. You're right. You might not get as great a service. You're definitely right with that, right? You have to do your own homework and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you know what I do? I babysit. And so, you know, what I'm getting at is, like, you just never know. Now, I know this isn't always a situation, but when you got customers that are sitting there watching you or talking to you, obviously some just, they don't know. They don't even care. But who's to say that you weren't the one that answered, or maybe you were the low bid, or you were the guy that was cheaper, right? And this guy's watching to make sure you do it right. And so I was kind of thinking about that, and I thought, well, hell, that's kind of what I do. You know what I mean? I'll be out there yakking with them, but, like, I want to see what they're doing. I want to be like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? No, no, man. You got to swoop that up towards the side or something, or whatever. They're doing stuff. But it's also good for the customer, probably, to potentially be there anyways, because I know, like, when we had the shop floor done, the office, I went out, did my service call, thought everything was glorious. They're packing up their stuff. I'm like, whoa, whoa, where's the ridge around the edge here? Oh, that's just in the bathroom. And it's like, oh, no, it's supposed to be around the whole house here. And it's like, oh, that didn't happen. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? How do you fix that? And the guy's like, basically have to regrind it. I'm just like, oh, I'm sure that's not going to be free. And it probably would have added in material costs, probably $20 in their material costs. I wouldn't care if it was another 100, $200. I wanted it, and I didn't get it. Ooh, need the McDonald? Maybe that's why the wife of Tron, she orders them online. She had some friends over. Well, the kids had a few friends over, and so she ordered something. She asked if I wanted something. She's gonna get the kids, because the kids love that crap, right? Bill Gates got it dialed in. I was like, nah. I was like, I'm good. I don't want nothing. Anyways, I don't know. How many mouths do you feed there? One, three, four, five. I think six bodies, little ones to big. And I was like, how much is this? I'm thinking 60, $80. She said it was like 40, it's like $44. I was like, oh, that's not bad. Fries, drinks, all that kind of stuff. Not too bad. Not too bad, in my opinion. So what else we got? Anybody else got anything out there? Been seeing anything? What else have I learned? Inventory's going good. The box store openers, meh. Now that I know that the Chamberlain used 12 volts, I can't get it out of my head. When I listen to a Chamberlain run and I hear it go, like I just, that's now stuck, it's permanently in my brain. My belt drive, booger, flipped the belt on top of the trolley. You know, they got that plastic piece that runs along. It like flipped up on it. I don't know how it kept doing that. And so I think I loosened it enough so it wouldn't do it. So not real pleased with that. I'm still thinking about that video. I think I'm gonna order. We're gonna order another. Is this a 267? Same 267. Oh, they installed it. Anywho, there was the one I did the video on with the frequency change. I think we need to order another one and see if it comes with. I'm still curious on that outside keypad if that darn thing. But supposedly, I talked it over with Cap. Nope, we're pretty positive that darn thing was. We were in the right that we had to come back and get a max. Because he did. I think he printed it. No, I think he sent it to me an email. He said he had to get it from LiftMaster. Actually, I sent it to him in an email. You can get $2 breakfast sandwich. Dang, man. I'm kind of a number five. I liked having my dessert and my meal all in the same one. Number five was at the McGriddle. Get a McGriddle. It's pretty damn good. Get a McGriddle. Get a couple extra hash browns. Ooh, doggies. Sometimes I like a little sweet tea. Sometimes I like a little Coke. Just depends on how I feel like they're going to mess the order up. Last time when we were at full speed, oh, pairs replacements are a result of old age of braking. No one is replacing for fun. Ah, Rusty, I would have to say I think that's a good way to put it. Honestly, that's what it kind of feels like. It feels to me because I don't know. Was anybody on here been installing from the in the 2006 and '08 era when things were? It feels like 2008 again is what it's feeling like. I feel like they're suppressing. Like I think gas prices should go higher on the futures. I feel like they're suppressing it, which I'm not. I'm not like. Don't get me wrong. I'm okay with that because I don't want to really see it hit 120, 150 per barrel. So, but I listened to this one guy too, and they talk about expectations. Like they prop this stuff up, and it's like it's almost like you know how it is. Like let's say like LiftMaster really could have got away with maybe 8%, or let's say 5%, or whatever you want to make the numbers, but they squeaked a couple more on there. You know what I mean? And then like with LiftMaster, they're like at the perfect time, I think, because you think about it, um, they go, oh my gosh, we got these openers now that got these cameras and all this technology that we got to pay for. We can't eat this cost. We know how to design them cheaper or make them more reliable, but we want to have more tech. The tech costs more money. So we're actually going to make them smaller. We're going to give them plastic covers, and we're going to make it a smaller motor and DC to help with cost for ourselves, not you installers. And then, oh, there's inflation going on. There's all these things. So right now, it's like their time to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if Genie came out. I'm assuming because they seem like they're all like I said that tide rises all ships. You know what I mean, type of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised, but you know, I don't know. I just don't know, Johnny. But I think that's a good way. Like I said, it seems like we'll get the repairs what I see right now, but there's like nothing extended out. And if there is something that gets extended out, you better watch it because if you don't hit it, take care of it. So like even for something for like maybe like Evan or a young guy, you better try to make sure you up your game right now with your capturing as much as you can because you don't know when it's just not going to come in. You know what I mean? Or you think you can schedule them out, like maybe, is say, well, I'll put them out a couple days. I'll put them to Saturday. Well, you might want to start working some a little bit later hours or try to become more efficient. And that's why like it brings me back to the day where it was just like, for me, it was just wham, 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 wham. And like I was like a machine and I needed that van. I mean, I was filling up. I was doing oil changes after hours on the weekends. I mean, you have to be the fire department, right? You have to have the truck loaded up with water. You have to have the hoses ready. You have to have your fire suit ready night before. That's why you get your lunch ready, right? You carry a lunch. You don't go get lunch because every second in that drive-through is time that you could be at a job or take care of another service call. So I'm kind of seeing that around here. So that's telling me that our competition is they're hungry. You know what I mean? Because I know one guy, which I got nothing bad to say. They do. We were just talking about the other day. They do good work. Um, uh, I'm pretty sure. Well, I know because the customer said I already had another guy from that company come out, and um, I mean, we just weren't fast enough. So I can see that's gonna how it's gonna be. That's fine. That's fine. I know how to play the game. Like I said, we'll make sure. And so I got another backup. And that's what I did. Of course, that day was crazy. That day was we still needed another vehicle. I know how that happens. Our business. Okay, so far, so you probably seen, and it was weird. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna hit. I don't think it's gonna last as long. Seems like they know how to like change the frequency a lot better now. Like all of a sudden they might give some bad. You know what I mean? It's like they haven't used that word. I don't want to say it because it might be bad. To say the re and the cess, Sean. You know what I mean? When the things are bad, kind of like you're deeply saddened, like a depre. You know what I mean? You can kind of fill in the blanks. So I think we've been in one. You know what I mean? At least not maybe a D, but in an R. And the WAR is not helping, and inflation right now is not helping because we still haven't still haven't caught up since the last transitory. I love it. I love it. I cannot believe we're not down there with pitchforks. I just can you believe it sometimes? I just can't believe it. Like I think about us trying to be men and they had the T thing, right? The T tax or whatever, right? You know? And they just came unglued. And here we just take it right up, you pay tabs. Like I don't know if I always thought about like the tabs, like registration. I don't know. I heard a little glimpse on this one time. I can't confirm it, but I always heard it was like, you used to be able to register your dog, right? I think it was like free. You just put a tag on it, you could register it. And um and it's funny how money always gets associated. So I don't know if cars were like that at one time back in the day. Like you'd register your car in case it got stolen. And then registration started like, we could make money off this. So then we started doing more and more and more. If somebody's got a video out there explaining why we have to pay for tabs every year instead of just having a plate, they make them all the time, or just have a plate and the plate stays the same. Come on, there's got to be a better way to not have to charge you, right? Or just like when you sell a vehicle, you get taxed again. How many times does this darn thing get taxed? It's just, um, door install for original springs and openers. Does it extension springs? Extension springs, man. I was just thinking about. I got some still that is a family member. They're got to be pushing about 38, 40 years old now. Still running. The other side went bad, but still running. Can't believe it, man. Can't believe those extension springs. I think still original rollers. We just had a guy. Where'd those ones go? Uh, I don't know. He brought them in. He got me. He's a cool dude. We did a door for him, but he got me. I bought his little rollers from him. A lot of those 20 more years ago. That'd be wearing out. Yeah, that's if they use you, right? That's if they're not calling somebody else. Stickers. I do think it is a good idea to put stickers on the door and put a business card up by the wall button. I think that is a good idea. I think we should practice that more. That way you're in two locations. Plus, they can pull the card and they see it every time because every day they're pushing that button, right? And that way, when that day comes and they go, I couldn't believe we just went to one. Precision put their sticker over ours. And like I said, we've been naughty. It could have been when we were busy a couple years back, whatever. And it was, we just pretty much turned off residential. Should have just probably hired another person. Just don't know. Just don't know. But you don't know. For Evan needs to pricing over the phone so you're not wasting gas. Scheduling on a day when you can go do a few a day in the same area. Yeah, that's not bad because I was just thinking we just had one that came into the shop and of course it was the day I went out to install. So I was at a residential and I'm like I really do kind of miss the days of just paperwork. You know what I mean? I remember when we used to come in, we just had clipboards and then you just went out and like the phone never really bothered you. You know what I mean? Where now it's like, well, this customer just called. This is what I'm thinking, and it's like as this customer, are they current on their bills? And then it's about a 45-minute drive one way. They're kind of a I don't know. They're kind of a oof customer. So then it's like, and then it's like, well, the weather's not supposed to be any better through the week. And you're like, maybe so. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather. I thought it was supposed to start getting warmer. And so then it was like, just send Caleb. So Caleb goes out there. It's something to do with the wall buttons having issues, but you get there, the springs clamped. Must have been broke originally. We priced for new springs. They're kind of commercial springs. Somebody clamped it with U clamps. It's still clamped. That's not really right. Like that should be changed. So we got to reprice it with new springs, reprice it with a new wall button. And then that was the day, right, that we've lost a residential customer that was 5 miles famous. And so it's like, so yeah, you got a service call, but you could have potentially got more maybe out of the residential, right? And it was closer. Don't know. Those are the battles that we face. But yes, with Evan. So what I was getting at is that if you can extend them out sometimes, which I've done that, right? If I get one that's kind of farther away, if I can put them out a day or two, like normally something else will come in and then I can kind of make a route. That's how I used to do it. Instead of just stabbing, is the way I look at it. Like I'm going here, I'm going this way, I'm going south, I'm going north, I'm going west. No, I'm going east. If you can try to make them and then, but yes, I would make it very abundantly clear what your service call is. You know what I mean? And even if you're going to charge a small service call, just you have to have a service call for like the customer understands. And I wouldn't be afraid to even ask, we're going to send, I'm going to have somebody come out or myself or whatever. And then how do you plan on paying? Right? Like we got to get a price list. You need a price list. Y'all got a price list? If you got a price list, it's a good price list and you're confident in your price list, send me your price list. I don't need your numbers. I just want to see how you have it laid out and are you doing 3 options? Are you doing? Rusty's probably got one. Rusty got a price list. Send me a price list. Because I got an old one. I can kind of retro it, but we got to the customer. We already prepped them for a new opener. Um, and I get there and I'm like, as soon as I open up the garage door, of course, I didn't have pictures. I didn't have pictures. And I think they took us, they looked up a street picture so they could tell it was 8 foot. Yeah, okay. So, anyways, I get there. It's got, it was an overhead opener, is what I was told. It's a genie screwdriver. So I get there, I start looking at it. I'm getting down the steps, right? They got the steps in the garage type thing. Wood steps too, kind of loud. Pop, pop, pop. I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like it's got a broken spring. I'm like, fudge. So I'm like, and I don't know our prices off the top of my head. They've gone up so much over the years. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, like, luckily, I tell you what, those handy. Maybe you guys want to get one. I got a holster for this. It's not the brightest light. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it is what it is. It works. You know what I'm saying? But it's got a clip on it. If you like your clip, you don't want to have it on your belt, but I got a clip one on me for my belt. But the best part is this right here. It's got a laser. And what's nice, if you double click it too, if you're in the dark, it has a laser and a light. But I tell you what, that laser comes in so handy when I'm showing employees. They're like, what? And they're staring. I'm like, right there. I'm like, that collar, that, what, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, bam. I'm like, right there. Like, right there. You see it right there? Right there. It's up on that beam right now. Like, right there. Not so much there, but more here. Not there, but here. And so, anyways, I pull this out for the customer. I'm behind their cars. Of course, they got both cars in the garage. Ay, ay, ay. And so I'm like doing the old laser trick here. I'm like, you see right there? I'm like, right there, you got a broken spring. And the lady, she just goes, you know what? She goes, I thought when we lifted that door by hand, it seemed kind of heavy. And I'm like, yep. Like, that's not supposed to be like that. That separation there. So you got a broken spring. And my guess is your opener zapped itself. I said basically or whatever. I said when it tried lifting up all this weight. Oh, she's just, but now I have educated her that guess what? It's probably going to be more money. Well, it is going to be more money. And so, but now she's already been primed to X amount of dollars. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, nah, I don't know what it's going to be. And I want to get her a price as quickly as possible. So I messaged one of the secretaries. I'm like, hey, this is what I got. And then she's like, what size springs? And I'm like, it's this. And then they start working out a number and we came up with a number. But I wanted to get that to the customer as soon as possible because I didn't want that. They had nice cars. It was a nice neighborhood, nice, beautiful home, probably 500,000 plus. Um, I'm not really worried that they're going to bow out on me, but I just still, you know what I mean? I don't want to do this work and come up with a price and they're like, how much? I think that's a little bit excessive. I think you're trying to rip us off or so, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I did all this work. What are we going to do? Tear it back down? What I mean? So I want to make sure they're okay with it. So, but like I said, that service call, you're coming out. Hey, you're going to charge something. How are you going to pay? How do you plan on paying? They ended up paying check, which I was thankful because I guess you can do it on Jobber. I'm not real good. I got to get up to speed on that thing. I've just been being lazy on it. So I like the old paper, but then I got to do the work twice. But anywho, they paycheck. Everything went good. But let them know your service call because you at least need to go there to make some gas money. I don't even care if you're charging $45 for a service call, $65, whatever it is, 120. Don't care. You got to make something. You know what I mean? That they understand. There's ways you got to word it. I forget what the secretary used to say, but she would say something, and they thought it was included, and it was like, no, 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 no. This is just to get us out here. This is to kind of get you like an hour's worth of work as part of this, but otherwise anything else, parts, that's more. That's additional. That's not just covers you. You know what I mean? This covers you for anything. You want a new door? Yeah, it's just $65. No. Have the box stores gone up, Rich? I know Chamberlain. I was looking a couple, I don't know, like a week or so ago. I was just staring, looking at Chamberlain, like the new Chamberlains. And I'm like, man, I'm like, everything's like over like $200. It seemed like I was like 206, 220 and up. And I was just like, ugh. I was like, Bubba, ugh. Like I just thought, man, I was like, we're paying for that technology or something, where the old Performax, that was still somewhat, but they still, I think, increased those at 10 or $20. So, and then you get those rails. Those rails seem a little bit on the pricey side, in my opinion. I think they're 60, maybe $60, 40, $60 for 8 foot. I know it's like 100 because one day I looked, I was like, $100 for an 8 foot rail. Oh, hell no. And I was like, oh, it's a 10 foot. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I don't need a 10 foot. So I was like, well, another day, because it's always nice. I always like to typically have, I used one. So we need to get another one, maybe tomorrow. But it's nice to have two in stock because you just never know if you get a customer that has two openers. That seems like that's a common that can happen, right? You get somebody go there. Well, if we're going to replace that one, can we replace that one? And the last thing you want is your guys to come back and be like, well, we don't have one, So what are we going to do? Gonna have to go to the store, and they'll just run to the store without looking online or calling. They'll just drive there when gas is $8 a gallon, and then they'll come back. Oh, well, they're all out, and it's like, no, why did you do that? Your phone is free. We got like six of them in the office. If you can't pay for your minutes on your phone, just go. Why'd you do that? I never bought one. You're missing. You're missing out. Missing out, Rusty. You're missing out. Just like maybe your prices, man. You could be making so much more profit. We still never got, I got you that model. Oh, that's right. You had to call it in, didn't you, Rusty? Like I said, from Wayne Dalton to Clopay, $10,000, dude. $10,000 difference in price. Never knew whatever. I think he sent that one off. So just think you're installing, it's weird. Like that one I did, they didn't even question it. I just installed it. It came with two remotes, came with an outside keypad. I mean, we had more problems with that Bluetooth one. But luckily, they got the Bluetooth hooked up. The guys were smart. They got the MyQ hooked up, or whatever. And the guy was able, from Pennsylvania, he was able to get them in his garage so they could put up the second remote and the outside keypad, which, of course, doesn't have no cover. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when they come for you? But I think, like I said, there's going to be a couple that are coming for the LiftMaster, just so you have that upper, really to burn up some of these rails. It's really the big thing. Because that's, like I said, I think Cap said he's pretty much burned out. He just said, man, he's like, we just, now that we know that Genie uses dual frequency, Genie's not loading us up with all those accessories. But does LiftMaster have a place? Yeah. I still love you 10% LiftMaster. You got a nice rail, man. You got a nice rail. I mean, you haven't changed the rail in forever. But your opener heads, why? Why? Why couldn't we have that beautiful red metal? I mean, that was the thing, right? That's what everybody used to brag about. They were always like, oh, LiftMaster's metal. Genie's plastic. Well, guess what? Now you're part of the club. We're all part of the plastic club. No recycling for you. I just say no. I don't know. You don't really have a good vendor though, right? Like you can't even get Genies, I don't think, because Clopay is what, LiftMaster? Yeah, Clopay's LiftMaster. So like we could get LiftMaster from Clopay, but they're way more expensive. I mean, we're talking they're like 60, $100 more a head unit versus if you go to Rich B and get them from Rich B's vendor, they're a lot cheaper. I don't know. It's nice that you can just take a genie head. We can pop it on a chain. You can pop it on a belt. Uh, the remotes have changed a little bit. Like I said, I'm not saying they're the best. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just but dual frequency. I didn't know that until Andy told me that. Dual frequency. Let's see you do that, Lift Master. Like I said, never had one problem so far with Genie LED problems, but Lift Master. I just went by the one place. The guy owns an ice cream, little restaurant ice cream place. Damn good one too. I mean, just a sweet little spot, right? I mean, just great for the kids and overall. Rich B comes this way. We're going. We're going. The guy with good little burgers, just great. And I mean, the technician went there like three times or three, four times, and finally figured out it was the LED problem. Changed out the head. Like I said, one of those things. Most people probably don't ever experience it because they're so knowledgeable, right? Because they are the owners. They are watching the YouTube videos. They are doing all the research. So they have all this knowledge. But when you have employees that only work for 8 hours a day, then they go home and they do their own stuff. They're not doing this stuff after hours or want to learn all this great stuff. They learn from hard knocks experience, just like now LiftMaster changed it again on us, right? And they go out there and they install the Bluetooth one. Come to find out, nothing will work with the Bluetooth one. So they didn't have it in the box store one. Of course, didn't come with two remotes and an outside keypad. And that's what that was the first thing the customer wanted from the whole phone call with the secretary, an outside keypad. And so he couldn't even deliver an outside keypad. So it would not surprise me, just in true fashion, that something next now comes out with the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is interfering with microwaves or with headsets, or when people are hooking up their Bluetooth speaker, it's activating their garage door. Like, it would not surprise me. Just like with I think it was the other day I was doing something, and I thought, like Genie, like their keypads are glitchy sometimes, right? Not all, just like the one at the shop can be. Sometimes you got to hit the enter like twice. But I was thinking to myself, I understand what dilemmas are gonna arise out of this. Does that make sense? Like, I understand the problems I can expect from this unit. And it doesn't happen every time. But when it does happen, I know what it takes to fix it. Like if you have a keypad that seems like, just replace the keypad and then it's fixed. It's fixed. But there's always so many ghosts that I have with this, like LED problems, the frequency change. Oh, we didn't give you an outside keypad or whatever. Like, are we beyond that? Are we beyond that? Didn't we send somebody to the moon? Did we? Did we really? Did we really? You know what I mean? Are you guys still drinking the Kool-Aid? You know what I mean? And you got to remember too, right? There are some out there, right, that are so brand loyal, they will never, it doesn't, they could shit in their cereal and they would still eat it. You know what I mean? They could have somebody pissing down their back and they just be still, hell, it's raining. It's hot. It's kind of warm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I never wanted to be that old man. I didn't want to be that old man. I always told myself in the business, I said, one day I start getting old, I don't want to be that guy with like this guy's. You know what I mean? That I was going to be like, go. This is all we do. This is all we do. It's all we do. You know what I mean? I'm going to go buy me a 6.2 and expect it not to grenade on me because they make the best product. They make the best V8s. They do. They do. Well, I'm the ones on the side of the road calling a tow truck. But they got their place. They do have their place. They just have to be set in their place sometimes. It's going to be interesting. IDA is going to be interesting. We'll see if it's changed at all. I don't put anything on people's walls. What do you put on people's walls? Or what did you got here? I don't put anything on people's walls. So is that like the card, business card? Oh man, that water's tasting good. I'll send it to you. Price better because charge for each job. Rehang whole door for service call price. Yeah, it's just been a while. We had ours in these folders. I got new folders, I think. I don't know what this one is. Let me see what this one is. I think this one did have something in it. 'Cause I was like, here's a folder. Which, and I was like, I don't even know what the hell this is. I don't even know what this is, honestly. It says it's got Safeway. And it says 2018 labor rates. This doesn't look like something we would have generated. What is this? Non-insulated 24 gauge. Let's see what this was. So 16 by 7 was 470. But it's just kind of weird. That's why I was like, I thought these were ours, but this isn't. But this LiftMaster residential operator. 8165. Oh my gosh, $155. Oh my gosh. Two remotes. Wow. ATS. Oh, look at there's the 8500. That was 260 or 276. Oh, built in LiftMaster. Oh, gosh. Oh. 8165. It's a nice little folder they gave us. Oh, I missed you. I missed you. My old ATS. Oh, it's even got linear in here. Huh. I'll be there. But let's see this one. Look at it. It says belts. What do they got here? They got it. Why they got three belts over here? Remotes, wall button, keychain. It's not too bad. Linear. I don't know why. I detail per residential labor charges. CFI. This is 35. Single wide. Oh my gosh, this is actually something I've been looking for probably. Single wide was 250. Double wide, 8 foot tall, under 12 foot, 300. Doors over 8 foot tall, call for pricing. Like, I don't understand why Safeway. This is almost, it reminds me of like Lowe's. New garage door installation at time, 100. New garage door opener installation at time of new install. Okay. Low headroom was $50. Keypad, handle, labor, add on 25. Ugh. Only 25. Decorative hardware kit, 30. Ugh. I think those should be more too. All residential garages shall include perimeter seal, strut. What the hell is this? Why has it got our name on here? Like, did the secretary generate this? This seems like really professional. Like, I don't. That's what using affordability. We use house price, so we will use the product. So if it has to be delivered to your yard, deliver product. Okay, customer home. Never worry about messy and damaged goods. Our facility should be. I guess maybe we. You know what? Maybe we built this for our lumber yards. I bet we built this for a lumber yard. Maybe. Yeah, I bet that's what this is for. Huh? That's pretty cool. That's pretty damn close. That's cool to see that information because that is what Wayne Dalton had, something like that. But Wayne Dalton was 218, and then I think it was 179. I think for like a 10 foot, 10 by 7 or something. So I've still been looking for that detail list that Wayne Dalton used to use. That we used to use for Lowe's back in the day because it was really simple. I know there wasn't really much to it, but I just wanted to see it for old time's sake. Oh yeah, not making it up in the driveway. Yeah, yeah, that's probably yeah. That's all valid points. Yeah, that's for sure. If you got a book, you open it up, boom, right here. This is this. That's why I used to too. Like if I had weird ones, I would call the vendor. Ooh, I see we got 9 likes too. Thank you for hitting the like button. I would I the secretary, not secretary, but the vendor knew me enough that I would tell him like, hey, if I ever repeat back a number and it's $100 higher, that's just me because the customer's right there. So I used to do that a lot. They tell me like $650, and I'd be like, oh, okay. I'm like, so it's 750 our cost. Okay, all right, awesome, thank you. And I'd hang up and I'd write that down. That'd be my markup. So I'd mark it up, and then I'd obviously charge labor on top of it. So there's no credit card fees. Yeah, makes sense. Some people though got to pay with a credit card. Do you offer financing, Rusty? Do you guys do anybody do financing? I think we're gonna start offering the financing again because there was one customer. There's been a couple. I think it would have worked out good for. I could door now. Start backing up. If you pay cash or check, you still winning. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, charge what you got to charge. What's rich guy here? I always ask for pictures from them. I ask for pictures of back of the door and above the door, and operator. With all those pictures, I can pretty much know what's wrong before I get there. Yeah, absolutely, Rich. Absolutely. That's why I was kind of bummed because I think this one simmered for like a day, you know, and I'm guilty of it too. You know what I mean? Like, I just like it came when it came up on my plate, and I'm like, I stand there and I'm like, my first thing is I'm like, where's the pictures? And then I have to hear some story about, well, the secretary, I don't think sometimes I think they're just kind of don't want to ask or something, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and sometimes my hat blows off because I'm like, if I would have one picture, all the customer had to do is walk out their steps on in their garage and could took one overall picture, and I could already zoomed in and said, well, it's got a broken spring. Yeah, the opener looks like it's some kind of genie product. She said it's overhead. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 8 foot tall. Oh, it's got higher ceilings. So do I bring one ladder? Do I bring two ladders? Do I bring taller ladders? Because the ceiling was another, what, 3 or 4 feet taller than normal. So, I mean, there's just so much you can tell with a picture. Can I see a sticker on the door? Has it got windows? Is it crooked? Does it have the right amount of struts? Maybe if something looks funny, maybe can I see daylight if there's no cars in there? I mean, this one that probably would have had cars in there, and but at least I would have seen the broken spring. Luckily, right, like we should. But I'm kind of a newbie, right, when it comes to the vehicle. But I did have a pair of springs. You know what I mean? Um, but if I might have sent maybe somebody else or something, maybe with a different setup. Like all you have to worry about is an opener, dude. Well, now they need springs. And I need to carry. So now what do you carry for remotes? Because I need to carry I literally had one of the box doors openers. I couldn't find the second remote. And I was like, somebody freaking pinched this. I was like, something, I was like, it's kind of weird because it was all stapled together. But I was like, I don't know. Somebody maybe's got a staple, one of those big staplers, which I kind of like the one of those. Anybody got one of those staplers that does the crimp? Like you can just put it on cardboard and crimp it? That'd be kind of cool. I've never seen one or even how they work. Yeah, I've never used one when I've worked any shops or anything. But anywho, I'm I can't find the second remote. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm gonna have somebody run me out a remote. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I got right till the very end of it, right? And I just pick up the opener, I start shaking it up in the air, and all of a sudden, bloop, here comes out the remote. I have no idea where it came from, but it hits the carpet thing or whatever, and I'm just like, there it is. I looked 3, 4 times in the covers, I couldn't find it, so it must have been really hiding. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to keep it less for those who want to do it. Probably will switch. Uh, save. Unused. Couldn't charge. It's. I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know how to explain it, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I don't know. I feel like Rusty or not Rusty, but Rich might have something. I don't know how to explain because it's like I would agree. I used to think the same way. I think this is a great question, Rusty. I really do. Like I just like I I don't know how to. I think it started with me for Lowe's, right? So I couldn't never believe like when I would go to customers through Lowe's, I couldn't believe, man. I could not believe this. Could not believe all the years of doing it. Not once. Not once. Not even a hesitation. Not even like a hesitation. You know what I mean? That all the customers we came to, right? They already paid. They already paid in full. Already paid Lowe's. I could not believe we would show up with fully wrapped vans. We had trucks. We had stickers on the trucks, whatever. And I could never believe I didn't have some dude, even a dude. I see maybe the girl's not doing it, but a dude coming out and he'd be like, "What the hell's going on here?" I'm like, "What?" Like, "Whoa, your vehicle or your shirt or whatever says affordable door and gate. What the hell? I hired Lowe's." You know what I mean? Like I could never believe, or I couldn't ever believe, like nobody even asked me and said, like, "Damn, you know, hey, you guys are installing this. Like, what would you guys have charged?" I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Or like, "What's your opinion on this?" Or it was like they already made up their mind. Like they bought it, they Lowe's sold it, they put it on credit card, they paid for cash, they paid check, and all they wanted to do was to go back in and eat their Krispy Kreme donuts and watch TV and just let me know when it's done. And I'm sick of opening the damn thing by hand. It reminds me of like a cartoon movie or something where people are like floating around and they don't do nothing. They're like drinking sodas and stuff. I just like I could never believe. And then when I took it even a step farther, right? And when I started finding out I could save time, which actually with like that opener, I really wish I would have put it together because it cost me 30, 45 minutes just to slap the rails and put the wire down the tube and just getting everything all figured out. I was like, damn, I was like, I should have just put this together at the shop. Um, but when I was taking the same opener, because I had their paperwork through Lowe's, so I knew what opener they bought. And at the time, everything was stable. Not like now, everything's very violent. Bluetooth, my MC, Max, everything's just all over the place. But I could see the model that they bought. So I'd build it at home at nighttime. So it would save me 30 minutes or 45 minutes at the, when I'd go to the customers. But I mean, I have customers standing right there and I was on a mission, man. I pound these puppies out, man. So I'd be like, I just walk in there, like, "Oh, yep, oh, okay, yeah, yeah." I kind of do a brief, like no broken springs, just needs an opener. Okay, yeah, no problem. Bam. Man, I just grab their box. You know what I mean? I'd walk out to my truck, throw it in my truck. I had a little trailer I was dragging along. I'd pop open the trailer, have them all strapped, nicely put in there so no scratches or anything on the covers. Boom, I grab me an opener. I start walking in. I'd normally bring like a little box or something with all their stuff in it, manual, remotes, keypad. I come in, I put that down, and I just could never believe. I felt bad sometimes. Like I kept thinking like people were gonna. I always was waiting, man, for people to be like, "What the hell? Oh hell no, you ain't installing that." Like I don't know if that thing's used. I want the one I bought. You know what I mean? Nope, nope. Never had one person ever squawk about it. Just like kind of stared at me like, "Oh." And I don't know if it was a confidence thing. I don't know if it was like, "Oh, this guy's got his shit together," or like I like they don't care. Like they don't care. I think it's like let's think of it like this, right? Maybe this is another way to think of it. Think about how much you go to the store, right? You go to the box store or pretty much any store, right? Because I can't think of anybody, at least in my area, right? There ain't nowhere I can go that I can buy USA made fridges, or buy USA made stoves. Like I can't go into a bigger box store anywhere that I can think of right now that I can go in there and I walk around and everything I'm looking at go, hey honey, hey dear, everything here is USA made. You know what I mean? Aren't you? That's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? Yeah, the prices suck, but everything in here. Oh, they got an air conditioner unit for your wall or for in your window, USA made. Oh, they got a furnace over here, USA made. Hot water tank, USA made. You know, dishwasher, stove, like nothing. Like even when I looked for a fridge one time, I was saying, "I'm gonna buy it, see what USA is. It's probably gonna be built better. It's gonna be expensive." It was the tiniest little shit box I've ever seen at Home Depot. And I was like, "This is it." I was like, "This is barely enough for a single guy." Like I thought, I can't buy this for my family. So I guess what I'm saying is like it's just a weird, like it's just an imagination. You know what I mean? Like all they knew, the reason we ever got called out, right, for that one job that I went to recently, is their opener wasn't working. And then they also didn't realize they had a broken spring. They paid X amount of dollars, but we still never got a phone call. I never got a phone call. You know, I was looking this thing up, and you know, I can get this thing, you know, for like $200 at the store, you know, and you know, you charge me like $1,200. I think that's like they just don't even they just don't even think about it. Like they just don't. It's so weird to me, and that, like I said, that's just I used to think the same way, and then I started watching the trend of how openers were going with these professionals, and I kind of thought, I was kind of like, well, piss on you. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't give me a better deal. You know what I mean? You don't give me incentive. You don't take care of me better. You don't warranty me better. You don't. I mean, maybe a solid rail. Solid rail's nice. You know, a little benefit. But a way you could probably eliminate that too is you could always put it together so they don't have that illusion if you wanted to try to break that ice a little bit so you don't bring that box store in. You know what I mean? But like this one I was just saying, the lady wasn't there. She wasn't, you know, she didn't wash me or anything. She just came out, pushed the button. That's all she cared about. That it went up and down, had the keypad, here's your remotes. Uh what's it got? What's it got? Two, you should be at least doubling materials. So when it goes up, you are more too. Yeah. I mean, if you can in your market, you know what I mean? But like I said, for me, like I said years ago, we were doing prices. I was going to, I probably went to like 3 or 6 different customers. You know what I mean? They're like, you're like I said, I've always talked about this, right? They were like, you're $200 higher. I'm like, $200. And I'd be like, can I see your quote? I look at their quote and I'm just like, when I look at it, I was like, damn, dude. I was like, these dudes are like, and so Rusty, don't you guys deal with the rebates? Does anybody deal with the rebates that's on here? Remind me how the rebates kind of work. Like they only do it on certain models. Like they're not doing it across the board. It's not like let's say like Menards, like you get a rebate and then you're like, oh, like I can go buy anything. It's on just certain particular items. So, but like Dale was, he was saying something about too. We had a customer like we were doing some stuff for like Goodwill, and we were quoting MTs, right? No MJs, sorry. We were quoting MJs, and I'd go back, and they were installing J's. I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like, how can they? How did we get beat on this? And our competitions, they're installing even a better opener. Like they're putting a J on there. I was just like, what? Like, how's that even happening? Like, you know, and it was a little door, but I mean, they used the door quite a bit. But an MJ would have been fine for it. But you know, it was only like a 9x9. It was some weird size door. And I go back there to do some service, and they probably using us because our service is better than this other our competition. And I go there, and I'm like, man, like, they had a couple $100 on there. And I'm thinking, how did they even put a better opener? It's like, I don't know, you know, and you never know the whole story. You don't know if somebody else got the quote. You don't know if two guys were quoting it. You don't know if they lost or they just went with the one that they seen email. You don't know if our email went through if you're not checking up on your estimates. Who knows? Uh, doesn't appreciate your lift master humor. Can be a tough crowd. Gotta learn the hard way. I would say, Dave, these new guys got it easy. YouTube, internet. Dad would send me out with two doors helpers. Say, have a good day. The coffee need. Oh man, the new guys really do. You guys, I mean, that's why it's kind of like a weird. It's like a weird love hate relationship because on one hand, you have all this wonderful knowledge. You can come to YouTube here. You can email me. You can text me. I have guys that ask questions and all this kind of stuff. I have stuff I learned from you guys or stuff that hopefully you guys learned from me. So much stuff that before it was just all I had was Barnes and Noble. That was it. Barnes and Noble. Go to Barnes and Noble and try to look for a book that was going to help you with business or taxes or something or real estate or business and nothing. You know what I mean? You have to like spend hours going through stuff to get maybe a little nugget of something that didn't really add up to what you were looking for, but it was a nugget. So, like, that's beautiful. The bad part is we're getting a lot more inferior, crappier products. That's the crappy part. You know what I mean? Like, the quality has not stayed the same. It's getting worse, but they keep pushing it like it's fine. It's great. Look, this has got this now. This has got this bell and whistle, and this has got this. Yeah, well, how about can we install something and not have to come back or have wall buttons that are failing that never used to fail? You know, unless they were just all beat to crap and in a foundry, and you're like, well, that wall button, you got your money's worth out of that instead of like it only being 3 years old. And you're like, really? Is this a wall button? Like, I mean, I know they use their doors here, but they don't use their doors that much here. So now you got to try to find like a different wall button to start using. Master rep, they are saying the Bluetooth can be more reliable than their security. Yeah, I hear the Bluetooth is great, which is like fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because like the other stuff sucked as far as I'm concerned. We'd have to do commercial, we have to put extended range antennas on them. Supposedly Bluetooth. I have been hearing good things about that, so thank you. But it just, I don't know. I have a feeling that partially, who knows? I don't know. I just feel like it's getting roped into something. Who knows? I don't know what yet. I hope it works great. I'm glad they did something. I don't know why they weren't using dual frequency like Genie was, I guess. Um, but I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad the range is good because that's always a big problem with them. So that's going to be super nice. But what is it? The J's still in the commercial. You can't get Bluetooth unless you do the maximum. As far as I would know, I would assume the maximum. I don't know if I'm going to be a big fan of the maximum, but I don't know. It's tough. It is tough. Regan. We do day. Just wait, Dave. Get out of my lawn. Yeah, I just remember the only one that really I remember we were doing through Lowe's that the guy, this guy, we went there. What I think we were installing. I can't remember if we were installing a Genie or a LiftMaster, but whatever the correlation was, we were going like over a rafter with the trolley, and whatever it was, they had too much crap up there and stuff. And I was like, nope. I was like, he's like, well, what's the problem? I said, we can't warranty this. I said, something was going on. And I just remember the guy like just kind of like flipped out and he was like, get the F out of here. I'm like, okay, not a problem. So we packed our stuff up. He was parked behind us, put our stuff in the van or truck, whatever it was, and waited for him to leave. We start going down. It's called the Causeway in our area. Going down the Causeway, and all of a sudden I see that dude go whipping past us. And I was telling, I think it was my business partner time. And I said, well, I bet we're going to get a phone call from Lowe's and they're going to be not real happy. And sure enough, whatever, 15, 20 minutes later, I get a call from Lowe's and this lady's, hey, we got a customer here. He's super upset. And I said, well, so here's the situation. I said, we can't install that opener. I said, because there's just too many things in the way. And I said, it wasn't a big enough area. And like, basically, it might have been like even cutting the rafter. I wasn't feeling comfortable with that because we got burned on cutting rafters before. And I said, so, and I said, I really, I said, I don't think we should have to get cussed out. I said, while we're at the customers, I said, he was acting kind of violent. And she said, I was really happy, you know what I mean? Because she just said, not a problem. She says, we will refund his money and he can go somewhere else. And I wanted to tell her before she hung up, I want to tell her, say, yeah, well, tell him, don't call Affordable Door and Gate, call somebody else. Because he just like, you know what I mean? Like you're looking at it and you're like, man, this ain't good. Like this is not the right setup for this. And this guy just acted like F out of here. All right. 9130. Oh, the California prices. Oh my gosh. Of a certain AMAR. See, he's got it, right? He's got AMAR, CHI, Carriage House, Liftmaster, Genie, Linear. Diversified. Clopay, install other brand section for replacement if I need. Trying to learn Clopay Wayne Dalton doors more for faster field. Wayne Dalton goes pretty fast if you do the 9000 series. But yeah. What do you do if you say they can't send photos? Well, the big thing is you got to make sure they ask. And sometimes the secretaries get a little lazy, you know what I mean? So sometimes either myself or sometimes Cap will call and ask. But when you got time, like especially if you're scheduling for the next day, like, that's something that definitely, hey, tonight, could you send some pictures over? Blah, blah, blah. Really see no reason why not to. But, there is. I mean, if they can't send pictures, it's understandable. It's an old lady. We went to one guy recently, he had a flip phone. And I knew that when he threw me off a little bit because I actually went there and he says he had half down. And then he goes, can you take some pictures to send it to my insurance company? And I said, well, doesn't your insurance company want the pictures from you? And he kind of holds up his phone. I said, oh, well, not a problem. I said, let me take some pictures here. And then he also was trying to give me it's like a third party insurance. So there's like Acres Farm or something. And then there was like it's Farm Bureau or whatever. And I'm just like, oh boy. So he's like, make sure you send them. I had to call this person, get email, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I was just supposed to come here and collect a half down check. Like, I didn't know I was going to actually have to work. This ain't even my customer. Yeah, people calling from work. Like I said, if you put some time into it, but if it's like they work, like the one lady we just went and did, she worked from home. So in my mind, right, she works from home. She was a little bit older than me. She's obviously using a computer. I think this lady could have easily, and she was the next day. So I'm like, I think she could have sent us a picture. You know what I mean? And her husband's, they're driving newer cars. They know how to use a phone. So it's just, those things, but you have to be disciplined. You have to, and I can't tell you how many times pictures mean everything. I can't tell you if you, like for you guys even, right? If you're going to ever ask me questions, send me a picture. That's what I always tell them. I would tell employees, I would say, hey, send me a picture. Like you can sit here and tell me all this and the flux capacitor and the lightning bolt and this, and we went back to the future, and I'm just like, I know, but you sent me one picture, and I'm like, oh, like, yep, I know what's going on there. I can see that. That looks like a pain. That looks good. That doesn't look good. Um, Pictures just mean so much. Two buttons, remotes, the small two button ones. Nice. I just like when they give them to you. Like that's the perfect setup right there, right? Like, that's the beautiful setup right there. Like just show it. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to flip the camera. How do you flip the camera on? I don't know why it's not showing me. Where is it? Where is it, Johnny? Look at this. Right here. This is what I always want to see. Two remotes. That's the keypad. Two remotes. That's the keypad. Perfect. Perfect. Because what did the Bluetooth do? The Bluetooth, right? The one that we just did was a single button. And then we went to the store. We get a three button. I said, oh boy, I said that could cause confusion. And the guy was like, why? The tech. And I said, well, I said, you know how this goes. I said, they're going to, why has it got three buttons? And he said, well, he said he was talking about trying to link one up to his possibly one out in Pennsylvania. I said, oh, whew, there you go. Tell him, here you go. That's why I got a three button now. This one can be for your Pennsylvania and here, and this one can, whatever. But I just was like, oh. Sometimes that's why I like those ones because those are single buttons. But I get they're nice having two buttons or something if you make your combination. But keep it simple. I resemble that remark. Rusty was saying, it surprises me so much. Most older people can send me pictures. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've thought about that for a long time as the days go by, right? Those people are fading off and you're just getting more and more and more technology. Everybody's got a smartphone and everybody knows how to take pictures of their grandchildren. And, so I mean, it's even if it's not even the right way, it's just a picture. You know what I mean? I just had one on Facebook that sent me a few pictures and the place is kind of rough. I ain't gonna lie. Place is kind of rough. It's got 45s, it's got wood. The guy bought the door. He's just looking for labor. I'm like, but the pictures, you know what I mean? Like I can already prep myself or the guys. It's like, ooh, this ain't gonna be like there's no siding in the house. It's like got wood. It's like, I don't know what this guy's quite doing, but like those mean a lot to me. Yeah, I asked him to send me pictures of what he bought. So we're dealing with extension springs, we dealing with which is it's gonna be easy set. You have to mail it in with receipts. Closest I've saw Costco program. They get a shot card back. Yeah, I think Costco's even sell. I don't know what they're selling. PT used to talk about Pop Tony. Used to talk about Costco quite a bit. So I haven't looked on Costco in a while. I try to check out the Home Depot once in a while, see if they got some on sale. I mean, like I said, Menards right now they're selling with easy set, non-insulated, 9x7, 9x7. They got a hot deal going right now. $3.99. And then it's like 428 or something like that if you don't do the in-store rebate. So, but still I'm like, if I get a rich B door, hell, you're spending what, 600 or some change. So I mean that's $200. That's $200, man. By the time you mark that up, that's just $200 you automatically made. I think it always reminds me of what a guy used to work. He used to work at the trucking unit selling the business. He made blocks, concrete blocks. And he told me, he says, Dave, he goes, he was searching for a semi truck tire. And I remember him telling me, he goes, I just spent whatever he says, an hour or two searching around because he said I called the one place and they wanted, semi truck tires are expensive. But he ended up saving himself like $400. And I was like, he goes, that was like that just paid for my wages for the day, And I'm just like, so he's like, yeah, it took me whatever, 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it was, it took him. He's like, but they for the same tire. And I'm just like, yeah, like I get it. I get it. Might only be 100 per door. Yeah, I gotta check with the secretary because she would know. She used to be a part of that game with the big dogs, and so I always kept thinking, is it like only certain doors? You know what I mean? Or is it like just across the board? Or can you do it like on openers? I'm assuming they're not gonna let you do it the openers, but because I just know we have like I said, our one competition. I don't know if there's because they're buying skids. They're buying multiple skids, like semi truck skids of openers, and that's why like when we went there, I'm like, how did we lose this bid? I'm like, if we didn't have much on this, and it's like I'm sitting here going, and they upgraded to a J instead of an MJ or whatever. I'm like, whoa, like whatever. Ooh, I wonder if Rich will go to if they don't have a photo. That's a good one. Applications. What type of detectors do you, as it says, utilize? It's up in the air right now. They got some new ones out that it's like some kind of weird. It detects the vehicle in a sense, but it can be above ground. Cap's been telling me about it. I guess our fence guy's been using quite a few of them. He's kind of on them, but otherwise we use Omrons. Um, they've been. I think these ones are really sensitive. If these are the ones, I can't remember which one of these. He's not a big fan of these ones. It's EMX. They've been real. I think this is the one I did up north. Man, it was really fussy trying to hit a reflector with it. So these, boy, you can't ever beat these guys with a cover. If you get the right cover for them, Omrons. You've probably seen these in commercial applications too. So use some of those. This is used. Only got some new ones here too, but I don't know. But if you got any good ones that you like, let me know. I've used these in the past at a DPW, and I had really good luck with them. I never got any callbacks with them. I think this is another EMX product. I think. What are you? Are you EMX? Yes, EMX. But that little cover just helps keep the snow off of them. Nice little, mounted it. I never had too many problems with these ones. Just depends on the situation. We never found one that was 100%. Like I said, the Omrons was always treating me good. Cap doesn't seem to like them. He says the range goes kind of dead on them after a while, but if the customer sees you have same as every other company, lost in marketing battle. Image is company to see experts in your area. I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean that to me is like trying to say like if you put on like precision had shinier cables, garage door cables than I do. I don't know if that really made. They didn't call precision back. I don't know. They ended up calling us back. But we could have. We had a couple years there. We were turning residential away. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like right now. I got to get a furnace. Yeah, I got to get a furnace in one of the rentals. And I would say I'm a little more than the average bear. For installs. And I mean, I don't really know what's a good furnace manufacturer anymore. You know what I mean? So you could install Goodman, you could install Ream, you could install whatever, and like long as it like heat. Now I don't think this way, but the average person, I'm sure, as long as it heats the house, I don't really care. You know what I mean? It all looks the same. As long as it turn the thermostat and the heat comes on and doesn't make any funny smells. Not you know what I'm saying? Like it's just all kind of like I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm really surprised. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong with that statement. I just like I said, in our I can't believe because I'm the one, right? I'm the one. Nobody else is doing it. You guys aren't doing it. Well, maybe Rich is doing it, right? But you guys aren't using. I mean, the other guy here, right? He's talking about he's got AMR and all these other companies he uses, right? But that's like with garage doors, it's a garage door. You know what I mean? Now I know for us, it's not a garage door. The hardware's different, the sections are different. Like this is clunky Wing Dalton 9000 series, but it's worked. You know what I mean? It's dealt with hell of windstorms that we've had here. I mean, since the neighbor lost his roof, blew right off. This place still held together. They didn't cave in. They go up and down. They keep the heat in. They keep the boogeyman in. They keep it works. You know what I mean? And so I, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't see. You know, I see that we get crapped on more. Um, because like if you take those units, when you look at when they break them down, they have the same damn little DC motor on a motor than the Chamberlain. Now, if Chamberlain or these guys were to say, now if these guys right here were to keep the old red covers, AC units, gave me options, and they said, hey, the reason we're doing it, these are badass machines. Like, but hey, you know what? You're going to spend 20, 40, 60, $120 more for this unit, but you're getting a badass machine. I go, hell yeah, absolutely. I believe in that machine. I trust that machine. I can install it and I know I get 20 years. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. What gets me, right? This place, right? They're not the speed queen. They don't even give it to us. They don't even give it to us. They might charge us or charge you, right? They charge you another 20, 40, 60, $120, but yet you get a crappier product. We don't get the speed queen. Go buy a speed queen. It ain't like what you buy at the box store. You're going to spend $1,200, $1,600. But then at the box store, you're going to find them for 4, 5, 6, 800, probably higher too if you want to, with some bells and whistles, front loader, with the trough thing you got to buy or whatever the thing it sits on, the drawer, to bring it up a little bit so you can use the damn thing. So you got to bend over. But what I'm saying, I'm saying like there's just not like there is no loyalty for them with you. Now, if I was to call this place, and they say, what's the serial number? What's this? An excellent customer service. They say, not a problem. We'll send you another one. I'm really sorry that you experienced this, blah, blah, blah. All right. Damn, I got a reason. Man. I have to believe. I have to trust. This place takes such good care of me. Everybody else, Jeannie, you suck. You don't take care of me. You make my life hell. You won't send me a new head unit. You won't send me the circuit board, blah, 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 blah. But no, it's like they all run the same algorithm. And like I said, well, it's not a problem. Damn, LiftMaster, go ahead, LiftMaster. Charge me another $120 per unit and impress the shit out of me. Impress me. Make my life so good I have to use you that you're irreplaceable. Customer service is great. The parts are great. We'll send one out to you. Hell, we'll even send you two for the inconvenience. Not a problem. I'll pay the extra money. But they don't. Instead, we get a problem. We have to find a solution. We can't install the curly cube light bulbs. That's against the law. We can't, you got to watch the LEDs because we don't use dual frequencies. But yet we got a camera. But yet we can't figure out remotes still. Genie figured out remotes. That's why they use dual frequency. All these things, but they're not paying for your gas to go back out. They're not paying for your inconvenience for the customer. They're not paying for when the customer's upset and they're sitting there going, I thought you installed something good. You know how many times I've had that with Chamberlain? Can't tell you how many times. I remember when I did the dual, back when they had the lobbyist thing going on. And I installed two remotes or something to one receiver. And I remember it puked out. It went, the guy's like, I remember the guy standing there and he's just like, I thought you installed something good. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, this company's having issues because they're so fast to market stuff, yet you and me are the guinea pigs. And I don't like being the guinea pig because I like taking care of my customers. I like things to flow. I like to make profit. I like to make money. I like to be efficient. I like to be quick. And that's just our demographics. Like I said, obviously it's just our area. Everybody else, no problems. That's fine. That's great. And if you have no problems, absolutely keep doing what you're doing. I can only tell you what I've experienced. And I get the emails, I get the text, I see that I'm not the only one. You know, what I mean, there's definitely there is issues out there. These have issues too. You know what I mean? I would rather Eric make openers and they're American made, somebody in a basement, and I could have good, reliable service like that one out there. That one probably somebody just got rid of it because it wasn't tech enough for them because they couldn't monitor it. But I'm pretty sure we could. But I'm sure that machine would probably cost you $400 or $500. You know what I mean? With all the metal that's in it. That's fine. I'm willing to pay that. I'm willing to explain to the customer. But when I see openers, even these guys, right? These Genie guys, they sent out a bad batch of RPM sensors. We were on the Genie platform. Holy cow, man! All of a sudden, RPM sensor, RPM sensor. It's like, and what do? They send us a big old box, and it's like, well, whoopee. How do we like now? We got to go back to these customers. And do we still have some that are on skid that are bad? Uh, Dilemmas. Mm, uh, Precision didn't have quality do go along with their prices. Yeah, Precision, whoever did it, I was talking to Cap about it because they just rammed the hell out of the pipe, the tube. And I said, I don't know if it's a speed thing for them. So they're just like so geared towards like get to the next job, get to the next job. I think they took an impact possibly. That's what I could think. And they took an impact and they just put a screw in each one. They didn't do both set screws. They just did each one and they rammed the crap out of it. It made my job a lot harder. Um, and had to change them often since 2 came out. Now I can't think of more than was it? Is it a few? Yeah. No, I think those push buttons. I don't remember so many circuit boards going bad. I don't think that's a problem. I think the biggest problem for LiftMaster is the interference. So hopefully these Bluetooth won't have that interference anymore. So I'm really hoping. Time will tell. You know, and like I said, if that's the case, you know what? Maybe we'll start entertaining them again. But as of right now, things are in limbo. I know even LiftMaster got me the other day. You know, I'm sitting there, I do the keypad. All right, this should be simple enough. I think they got rid of that where you used to have to push the zero, whatever. Nope. I hit the enter button. It's not blinking. I'm like, what the fudge? Why isn't this learning? Come to find out, you got to hold the enter button now. And I'm just like, what was wrong with hitting a code, hitting enter? Wasn't that the beauty? That was the beauty of LiftMaster back in the day. It was so easy to program. That's why I used to love LiftMaster. I hated Genies because you had to push the crap twice and it wouldn't learn sometimes. And you had to push the remote twice. It was just it was unbearable. And but I also now, right? It just at least this is how I feel about it. I am so seasoned with every other opener out there. There's nothing that intimidates me anymore. There's no brand loyalty. It's just whatever's going to work because I understand the flaws of a lot of other manufacturers. But LiftMaster seems to always throw me a curveball still. You know what I mean? Like they like this Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Well, okay, you got Bluetooth, right? But now we got an outside keypad that has no cover. And so even Cap was saying, he goes, so it's going to be like the other keypads or whatever, blah, blah, that start freezing up when we get freezing rain. Like, why did you get rid of the cover? I'm pretty sure I know why you got rid of the cover. Cost savings. Or because they're trying to mimic the one with the camera, even though these don't have the camera in them. Can we get the cover? Can we get the cover? You know what I mean? Mm, then send you new parts, right? But they're going to charge you for it. That's the problem I have. They'll make the claim, but they won't just send them to you. You got to pay for it, or you got to send your old parts in, and then if they deem it bad, they'll send you, you know, the new ones. But who's got time for that? That's my always gripe with it. It's like, I got the serial number, I got the model. We can FaceTime nowadays. We can do all these things. Do you need proof? But I guess supposedly, like I said, I haven't tried it. I mentioned it to some of the guys that if you have, I don't know how that works. Like if you just tell them to send it to the customer's address, they'll actually send it. I think free of charge. I haven't proven that theory yet, but I'd love to. So maybe if we get the opportunity. But what was it? The one it was out of warranty, so that one doesn't really count. But like I said, that keypad or the wall button that always got me over the years. Right, it wasn't still a dry contact instead of a wet contact, however you want to call it. But LiftMaster got me quite a few times on that. Where you just couldn't install a doorbell. You got to have that circuit board. The one thing I always know with LiftMaster is they're always trying to be as profitable as possible. So they're always trying to get you. You have to buy. It's like they were mentioning. I was watching a guy on YouTube, right? And he said something about, he goes, well, now that LiftMaster is doing the Bluetooth, there won't be so many counterfeit. And I thought, counterfeit? I thought, I don't really come across. I mean, I know there is some out there, and I've actually gotten some, but I didn't do my best. I didn't do my best research, and they were cheaper, and I knew they were cheaper, and that's why I bought them. And I found out they weren't true LiftMaster remotes. And they said, but this should get rid of the counterfeit. And I thought, oh, go suck a weenie. I said, that isn't it. I said, it's because now that they're going to be Bluetooth, I said, you can't use anything else. And they're going to be at the top of the market. And I said, you're going to have to exclusively use their product. You ain't going to be able to buy nothing after market brand or whatever. And they know that they're going to get all that market share. Like there's no competition. There's nobody making a whatever. It's going to have to be all our proprietary system. And you're going to have to buy. It's like with the gate operators. The gate operators are real funny too. Like they don't typically like to interact with other products. Where like Lanier is just like, it's like a doorknob everybody's had a turn, you know what I mean? And what I'm trying to get at. I mean, like you just hook whatever kind of safety to it and it's satisfied. Where LiftMaster, it's like you could just tell with tech support and stuff too, they're real fussy about keypads, or like you tell them something else is hooked to it and they're just like, oh, that's the whole problem right there. And you're like, that's not the problem. I disconnected it. It's not even, I shouldn't even said nothing about it. That's not, there's something problem with this unit. And they're just, well, we can't even help you. Like they're not quite like that, but I'm just saying. But that's true. Like I said, I don't think the 2.0s have had too many. We got one sitting on a shelf that's pretty dusty. You know what I mean? And I can't remember too many guys. It's just been, they think it is, they change it. It still happens. It was an LED problem. Most of the guys are pretty seasoned, but it took a while for everybody to finally come up to speed on all that stuff that, oh, it could be an LED problem. And it's just like with their built-in light, I was doing something the other day and I just kept thinking, uh, if they're going to make you have all these LEDs, I don't really like that because I would think, I mean, that'd be like, I don't know. What is it like? What could somebody think of that's like a manly thing, right? Maybe changing the toilet paper roll. Like you have to buy this cartridge. They make you buy this insert now instead of like, you have to buy this insert exclusively from them. You can't just like buy a paper towel roll from any company. No, you have to buy exclusively this one now. And, because you can't change it yourself anymore. That's what the openers with LEDs make me think about, where I go, it's they make it sound all good, but I sit there, I go, but they're gonna fail. That everything fails. You know what I mean? They're gonna fail. And what happens when they fail? You're gonna have to pay somebody. You're gonna have to pay more money. It's like these LEDs on these trucks, right? What is it, $1,700? Like that's ridiculous. We're getting low on power, guys. We're not gonna stay much longer. 11 o'clock, we're cutting her. If that's what the battery makes it that long. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Rusty, for the questions. Thanks, Rich B. Was it Crispy? Was it Crispy on here too? Crispy's been asking some stuff. It's been great. It's been really good. Thanks for chatting it up a little bit. Let me know what goes on out there. Like I said, the feedback. make a claim to supply. Was that you don't have to? So you're saying I don't have to supply bulbs? We got a whole box still sitting here. These have been really good bulbs. I've been really impressed with them. Was it PT's been using them? I think Tanner uses these ones. Rich B uses them. Rich B, Papa Tony, Uncle Dave, Tanner from Menards. Just get the old 60 watts. Price is right. Look at those bad boys. Even took the insert out. They've been using them. I got a box in my van. Bam. Yeah, I mean, that is one nice thing that you don't have to worry about bringing bulbs. But like I said, what are you going to do? I mean, you know how it goes. They're just getting it to the point where, you know, you can't change your own brakes. You can't change your own oil. Um, you're going to have a subscription, right, to use the radio in your vehicle. That's what they want. That's what they want. You know what I mean? And I don't think it should be that way. You know what I mean? And I look at it like if most people just keep feeding it and believing in it, they'll keep doing it. You know what I mean? Until it gets so bad because they got the stockholders, right? And that's who they want to please first. The stockholders come first. That's not the blue collar man. It's not the guy in the pickup truck. It's not the guy that's trying to put food on the table. It's not the guy that's trying to build a retirement. It's not the guy that's trying to take care of mom and dad or his family or his extended family or grandkids or have vacation. Nope, not that. It's the stockholders. And then it turns into, well, these guys kind of fund it. Like I said, I am really surprised that Ford and some of General Motors and all that could go as long as they did with those electric cars when it just went on and on and on. And I didn't see them. I was like, I don't see them. I don't see them. Oh, I see a couple, like two, you know what I mean? And then you hear about how bad the trucks were pulling something. 80 miles? Oh, hell no. I can't go 80 miles. I couldn't even make it up to deer camp in that thing. And let alone the electrical system up there is horrible. I'd have to stay there for a whole week just to charge the truck up to maybe 70%. I probably wouldn't make it home. And then finally, they started, we're closing this plant. We're shutting it down. We're not building them. We're doing this. We're going back to V8s. It finally clicked. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie. You know, I hope that eventually happens, but it ain't going to happen unless they feel the pain so bad that they go, boy, we're losing market share. We're advertising the hell out of this, but we're not doing so good. I mean, think about John Deere. Think about how far John Deere's come and how they can still do what they do. And I'm not much of a farmer. I mean, I watch a lot of old school farmers that run older equipment, but how much they've really just peed down the back of those farmers, you know, that they can't get their software, they can't take care of their own. I mean, that's what a farmer is all about, dude. That's what a farmer does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with this fertilizer and with them getting rid of the small farms and with like even myself, right? Like, I don't know how to grow this stuff like I should. And I come from a farmer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a really bad thing. You know what I mean? So we're a slave to them. We're beholden to them, I should say. If we have to go buy their produce and we have to go buy their stuff because otherwise you're going to go hungry. And unfortunately, with I'm sure food prices are all going to go up with all this inflation and fertilizer and not having all these, and you don't have options. I mean, oh my gosh, heaven forbid if somebody put a roadside stand up too. I mean, the tax man will come after them that they're running a business and all that, even though they're trying to provide something that's maybe healthier and better, and they're so proud of it for the general, you know what I mean? People need to wake up. We are really getting screwed over. You know, this is supposed to be America, supposed to be land of the free, and yet we just, you know what I mean? Just, nope, can't do this. Got to get taxed for that. You're running a business. You need a license. You need this. You need that. You know, and then they feed this crappier product down to us that, you know, like I said, I don't have no stores. Like I said, I still to this day with Mr. T in here, I don't have a store I go to that's all American made products. You know what I mean? And I probably, if I did go on there, it'd probably be really dead. You know why? Because y'all a bunch of cheap bastards, including myself sometimes. And you know what I mean? It turns into, you know, how much for that? Oh my gosh, that's too much. You know, Oh, isn't it wonderful? Wonderful, natural. Ah, what's it say? What's that? No problem with them? Yeah, pay as you go. Yep. Yep. Pay. Yep. It's all subscription. That's why when I heard that one thing, they said, think about how much we don't own anymore. You don't own your CDs. You don't own your cassettes. It's all subscription. It's either free. It's whatever, and then if you're free, you're like the guinea pig. They're pulling data out of you. Think about how much our phones are computing to us, that they feed us the information because they want us to stay on their platforms or whatever. They conform to us. Just think of how crazy this stuff's going to get. I mean, this stuff's going so fast too. Think how fast it's going to go in another 2 or 3 years. And then think about now LiftMaster. They got the Wi-Fi that'll be hooked to your phone and they'll know when you've been there because they're already pinging, right? They're already pinging. If you're part of anything right now, they're pinging your phone all the time. It's being tracked. They already know what you searched on Google. Think the cameras in there. They're going to know when your garage door open. They're going to know what they're going to see you, right? It's just going to be you got. I mean, it's everywhere. Obviously, got the rings and all that stuff too. Definitely going to be surveillance. I mean, China, I guess, supposedly farther on us with that stuff, but it's going to be pretty wicked. It's going to be crazy. It's almost kind of scary. Scary good. I don't know. Guess we'll just have to see how it goes. But it's gonna be weird with all the, you know. I don't like when they do stuff that they can't let you that right to repair. That's why you got to fight for right to repair. And I think eventually we'll see it with these. I think these openers are going to start doing. That's why I want you to get subscription or anything they're feeding you right now is free. It eventually turn into because it's just like with the email, right? We all had email, but once you start getting so much pictures, you get too many emails, or it seems like if it's been sitting long enough, even though you delete most of the stuff, they start coming after you. You're starting to get full on storage. What storage? I don't put pictures in here. I delete the emails. What are you talking about? I got like 10 emails. Like, but you're getting full on storage. On what? There's nothing left. You know. But for $1.99, and you think, oh, $1.99 ain't nothing. Yeah, but when it's $1.99 here, it's $2 here, it's $6 there, it's $4 here with electric. It adds up. It adds up. All the bulbs. You mean like they're gonna have like a subscription, like you want your light bulbs to work? I wouldn't doubt it. What was it? BMW did like heated seats. It was GM's got like OnStar, right? They give it to you for a little bit, and then they whatever. What is it? Anything newer? 2026 now. Supposedly it's got to have the thing for alcohol, or it can smell, or it can see, or something like that's gonna be built in. Did they finally get rid of the auto start? They talked about it, but the WAR has been. I haven't heard anything about Mexico. I don't hear anything about Epstein. I don't hear nothing. It's just the WAR. That's all I hear. It's the new fad. I don't hear anything about the auto start. I don't hear anything about the American made companies. This plant or this plant or this plant being built. All I hear is AI data center and WAR. The AI centers and WAR. That's it. That's all I hear. And what are these townships getting? That's what I want to know. That's my big kicker. What do these guys get? How are these people getting in power? And it's. I was watching one for a general dollar, and then they decided they didn't want the general dollar at the last minute. And the guy said the only thing we could have done is we could have made it a vote for the people, and that would have kept them from coming in. Then why the hell didn't they do that? Because they were the elected officials, and that just throws me. That seems like such crap. I just maybe it's just too many video games. I don't know. What? GM's auto steering is a subscription? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't know GM. What is that like in their SUVs or what is that in their trucks too? I don't think I really even know much about that. Oh man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I think I'm gonna go back to carbureted. I used to think carbureted was pretty complicated, but boy, it sure seems pretty simple now. Go back to carbureted. Just man, some simple. It's just getting. It's just I don't see it. I just don't see the benefits. If you find anything, Rich, on the data centers, let me know. I just don't understand how like, what are these people getting and how do they get it? Like, I heard somebody saying something about property tax and they were saying, like, does this person's property tax? And they were part of the township or whatever. And I'm like, what are these people getting? Like, I never hear it talked about, like, never hear it. And I'm not saying I really dug for it, but like what are they getting out of it? Because how could they want these things to be like, where do they get where they think these are going to be so much like, oh, it's going to make 6 jobs. And it's like, but they say how much water this thing uses, how much heat it generates, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm watching one, I think, a while back, and they're talking about how they're going to talk to each other. And I was just like, I'm just like, what? I mean, it just blows my mind. I just want to know how what the politicians get out of it. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand when you're up in the high end, like I can see the stock market and all that kind of stuff for like Pelosi and all that, and they get what, 28 days before it's got to go kill yourself, buddy. Have fun on that. Sounds like he's out there racing. Crotch rocket. We'll see if the chopper's flying tonight. Oh, by the way, they did find a dead body in the river today too. So rest in peace. We My condolences. But I'm just saying, that's wonderful. Just what you want to think about when you're fishing. Might find a body today. Crazy times. I'm out, you guys. See you later. Thanks for watching. Take care. If you got anything, like, subscribe, all that stuff, email, text. Rich, let me know. Let me know what you know. Thanks for the videos. See ya.